Hi, welcome to Wednesday, June 14th. Just got off work, and this year the 2017 E3 has been just going on earlier this week, and I don't know much about what's going on, but my plan right now is to sort of look up some of what was announced and see if there was anything good. So I guess I'm going to give you some of my opinions on whatever I can find that was announced at E3 here. So I'm starting here by looking at the Bethesda Game Studios, the Bethesda press conference, I guess. I'm not going to watch all of the press conferences. That's ridiculous. I'm going to mostly look through notes and things like that to find out what was announced and that kind of thing. I know going in, Bethesda didn't announce, was it Starfield, like we were all hoping? So to my knowledge, there was nothing really too big on this. They began with Doom and Fallout 4 for VR, which, I mean, I love Fallout, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to play a VR experience of the game. I'd have to invest in that hardware first, and then it just doesn't seem worthwhile. And, I mean, maybe it's really hard for them to promote, because it's really hard to sell, like, hey, look at how cool this VR experience is, when I'm looking at it in a traditional manner, not in a VR experience. So maybe that's all. But yeah, so I'm watching through, seeing if Bethesda has anything of interest. They're one of my preferred studios that, you know, I love the Skyrim game, you know, the Elder Scrolls games, the Fallout games. I am excited for what they produce. To my knowledge, there's not really anything big on here, but I figure I'll watch that conference while starting to go through some of the announcements on some of the others. And they have now, I just saw Creation Club, which is basically additional content for both Fallout 4 and Skyrim. New content for Skyrim. I mean, part of it looks like a little bit like, I've heard it's called paid mods, but it doesn't sound like necessarily that. It looks like you can search for it, which means you can filter, and some of it is actually created by the studio. It says studio, community, and other studios. So if I can filter it by Bethesda, just ignore the other people and just look at what Bethesda themselves has put out, that's just a way for them to continue to put out new expansions and content like that. I mean, it really depends on the price structure that they use. How expensive or cheap is it? Is it reasonable to get, worthwhile content? But, I mean, on their website, they have, things like new locations, new types of gameplay like survival modes, new companions, those kind of things, which could really add cool gameplay elements to the game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, hopefully, cautiously optimistic, I suppose, would be the best way to put that. Because ultimately it could just be them trying for a cash grab and just trying to get more money. But it could be their way to produce more add-ons without having to tie it to the... or feeling like people would be upset if they don't tie it to the Season Pass, which ultimately we got our value out of the Season Pass. It's no doubt there. So, I'm happy with that. I'm just hoping, if it's a good price, that could be really cool. I'd be excited to see what new content options we have there. Darn it. I was like, sure. Originally when they showed off the Switch, they showed, we're getting Skyrim. I'm like, that won't affect me. I don't own the Switch yet, and I've not been sold on it yet. I'm sure eventually there'll be enough games that I will be. But I was like, Skyrim's not going to be one. I'm not going to want to get that on there. I mean, for one, I already own it 3 times. And then they show the Amiibo interaction, where you get to get the stuff in the game and play through Skyrim as Link. Essentially. Yeah, Link's gear. That silly little gimmick might sell me the game again. I hate you. I might do it, though. That looks fun. It looks fun to go around Skyrim with the Master Sword. And it's a cool idea that didn't even cross my mind, but crossed somebody there. So there wasn't a whole lot more from Bethesda, although I must say they are really good at using music. I mean, there were certainly some other titles that look cool, but aren't really my style of game, that Wolfenstein 2 looks like an amazing setting, but I don't think the gameplay is going to be something I would enjoy, so, oh well. I then, while doing that, I pulled up Microsoft's conference and, notes from that, and I see Minecraft in 4K, and I'm like, what? What does that even mean? It's lighting and, like, water effects and those kind of things. It's still blocky, but I'm like, okay. And it actually looks cool. I'm like, alright, interesting. And I think they're also, like, making it where the servers can go across different systems, which is neat. So that's kind of a cool thing. And then otherwise, they announced Xbox One X, which is the more powerful Xbox One. And I'm like, okay, cool, keep making it better. Maybe one day you'll release a game that makes me want to actually get the system. Who knows? Haven't done so yet. Still looking at the system, I'm like, I don't think there's any games I want for it, so that are exclusive to it at least. But that was all that I saw from Xbox, the Microsoft conference. So gonna start looking at some of the other ones. And checking out Sony's, there doesn't look to be a whole lot of interest there. I mean, Skyrim is also getting VR, but again, same issue as before. Probably not going to get into VR. But otherwise, then, Spider-Man, which is cool, but they don't actually show the character advancement. Like, how those screens work, how that works. If that happens, I don't know, for all I know, you start with all your powers, in which case, who cares? But if they have a good level-up system, like Spider-Man 2 had a great level-up system. What did I have that on? GameCube. If it works like that and controls in a similar fashion, then that could be a very good game. I mean, I have fond memories of Spider-Man 2 on GameCube, so that could be an interesting, cool, because, I mean, it looks like a big, expansive New York. So maybe there, but otherwise, not much else from Sony of interest, at least not to me. Oh, wait, no. Shadow of the Colossus. I've never played it, and I have no idea if it's something I would like or not. But they're now doing a pretty version of Shadow of the Colossus and updated graphics, and it's the kind of thing, it might be worth getting just because, I mean, really, that's the kind of game I gather I really ought to play at some point, so maybe that. Nothing of interest from EA. No surprise there. Looking at the news out of the Ubisoft press conference, I mean, some okay stuff. Nothing too interesting. Probably the most interesting thing might be Far Cry 5. I've not actually played any of the Far Cry games, but I think I've seen that they at least have a fair kind of character advancement, level up, that kind of process, at least in some of the previous ones. I mean, it looks beautiful, and like a nice fleshed out world, which is a good thing, something I really like. Little vulgar, but what do you expect, right? So that could be an interesting one. Enough to, at least that's probably of what they showed, the one that I might at least keep an eye on. But nothing like overly exciting from them, I think. But now I get to take a look at Nintendo, which I'm pretty sure is the last one for me to look at. And I took a look through some of the Nintendo news. It had some cool things. New amiibos for Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is cool, like some of the ones for the different races in the world. That's cool. I don't have a Switch yet. I'm sort of at that. That's a system at this point I will eventually get. But they announced also, I guess, expansion packs for Breath of the Wild, which obviously I haven't gotten to play the base game yet, but whatever. I have no idea if they're decent or not to have expansions. So maybe though. Metroid Prime 4, which is intriguing. I didn't know that was even on the radar. But I played very small amount of, I think it was Metroid Prime. GameCube? Yeah, GameCube one. And it was fun, but I was a kid at the time, and I didn't get it. Wasn't good at it, and so I didn't do it too much. But it's a good series, at least to my knowledge. And definitely something I might keep an eye on, but they didn't really even show any gameplay. They just sort of said, we're developing this, which was similar to what they said for Pokemon. We are getting a Nintendo Switch exclusive core RPG Pokemon game. That is exciting news. That, I mean, almost feels like Nintendo noticed, wait a minute, everyone got really upset when we didn't say we were doing that at the Pokemon, whatever, they did, one of their, like, press conferences that Nintendo does, and they're like, maybe we should do that, and now they're just like, yeah, we're doing that. It almost feels like that it hadn't crossed their mind. They're just now bothering to say it, but, yeah, cool. That's definitely the kind of thing, it's like, yeah, if Zelda wasn't enough, which eventually it would be, once the finances were right and at a good spot, Zelda alone would have sold the console to me as well as all the many people that it already has. But Pokemon added to it. I haven't played the last couple of Pokemon games. But I don't have a 3DS. I just haven't gotten that handheld. I have the original DS, the brick. And so once it moved on to needing new hardware, I didn't get that. And it's like, do I really want a handheld? I don't really play games away now. And even now, it's like, okay, most of the time I can spend to play games, I do for the Gingham video game channel. That's a great excuse for me to say, okay, I gotta play video games. That's good. Hooking up a console to a box to record that, not all that difficult. I mean, I'd have to buy that. That's $150 or whatever investment on top of the console, but that's doable. To hook up a handheld, you have to have a specifically modified version of the handheld, and it's just prohibitive. It's prohibitive. So, not so sure if I will end up doing that. But very cool to get a core RPG on the Switch. Excited for that. Otherwise, that's about all that I saw that I was interested in. Did you see anything that you were interested in? Maybe that I didn't mention, or maybe things that I've, since most of my news was sort of the secondhand, me looking up research from various news sites. If I missed anything, it's very possible. Let me know what cool, exciting things you saw. Maybe I saw them, and I mean, my game interests are not everyone's. I'm not interested in what everyone is, but if there's something exciting you're excited for, let me know down below. But yeah, so been a cool week for gaming, I suppose, at the very least. Now I'm out to eat. Going to Gingham's. Got a Nick and a Pat.
It looked awesome, so I saw it in the
So, Gingham's is good. They have a really great house salad. Nick always modifies and gets some sort of weird version of the salad.
It's a weird salad just because it doesn't have tomatoes. Granted, I would ask them to take them off, but tomatoes is usually a salad thing, not peppers. Peppers is weird.
He gets ranch instead of their amazing house dressing and doesn't even know that's the thing I'm judging him about. But Nick loves ranch.
I do like ranch.
Ranch is superior.
Got the spicy jalapeno burger. Pat got breakfast. Nick got chicken to add to his salad. Covered. Back at Nick's and gonna play a couple games of Magic. I don't even know what decks I have, so just gonna grab one. Hope it has both cards and land. I think this box contains decks, so we'll see how that goes. I think I've figured out there's a theme for this deck, and it's probably gonna be tiny. But hey, I can play it. I play a lot of small creatures. He does small bits of damage to everything very often, while he builds up to big things. This is not going well.
Okay, I have technically dealt damage more than I've just made you straight up sacrifice.
Yes, because apparently normally this deck just makes me sacrifices the other way. It's just he's nicking off everything. I get a creature each turn, and he gets rid of a creature each turn. I get 2, he gets rid of 2.
Destroy target creature with mana cost 3 or less. Can't be regenerated.
Poor example.
You're good.
Didn't even get to attack.
Anyways, I play Seal of Doom. I crack Seal of Doom. Destroy target non-black creature.
Can
I go?
Yeah.
2 damage to that. 5 damage. Here you go.
I feel like I'm not going to survive next turn. What do I draw? Ooh, it's the most expensive thing I've gotten at all. And if I had this in conjunction with a lot of those other cards, oh, that'd be good. Take 2. No, I did him more damage. He's now down to 13 before I die.
Consume, destroy, you sacrifice target creature, I gain life equal to its toughness.
Darn it, he undid the damage that the dude did. That jerk.
I spent too much mana. Here you go.
Now this is gonna be it. This is gonna be it. This is a card that requires me to have a goblin to sacrifice.
Is it a bug?
It's a grenade. It's a goblin grenade.
Yeah.
So because that wasn't worthwhile, I've lost now, yes?
Yeah, so...
I've lost. I almost feel like if I'd have waited, if I'd have just held on to it for a couple turns, I could have played several really quick, and I might have
gotten some...
lost all the same, but maybe gotten them a little lower.
Yeah. But this was that countermeasure. Because I think all of, like, 2 things have higher than 1 toughness.
Played another game. I had a +1/+1 counter deck. I won because he didn't get his 6th land. But I'm headed home now. It's like almost 8, so I'm gonna go home and go to bed. But thank you for watching. Join me next time as I continue on this journey of life, and bye.